Hey there, everybody. How are you doing? I hope everyone's good. There's nobody on here with me yet, but I'm just getting set up. So that's okay. Waiting to see if I can get this set up before y'all... Aw, darn, y'all caught me. I was still getting set up while y'all came in. Hello, Paula. Hello, Stephanie. So happy to see you guys. I'm so excited about your guys' hair that you've been doing. You guys are doing awesome with your practicing. We're going to practice hair again next week. Just so you all know, just before, just after the Zoom. You were patiently waiting. You mean you're patiently stalking? No, just kidding. So let me see if I can pull this back down so I can actually see what you guys are seeing exactly, because I'm not seeing it. Hi, Annie. How are you? You did 5 more of them, Paula? Oh my goodness. You are really practicing. Here we go. Now I can see what you guys see. Perfect. You are, yeah, 5 is a lot. Yeah, and each one will get better. That's awesome. So I don't know what it is, but my computer is not, or my tablet is not wanting to see the same thing that you guys see. It's crazy. It keeps changing out. Can you guys see this one little face right here at the bottom? Because I want to make sure you guys can see the whole screen of what's on my phone versus what I'm seeing on the tablet. Just technical difficulties with this. Pretty soon, if everybody has Zoom, I'm going to have everybody using Zoom or something. This is crazy. Hi, Marina. I didn't even see you sneak in here, lady. Sneaky, sneaky. Aren't you supposed to be working? So today we're going to be going over skin. Good. I'm glad you all can see it, because I don't know what's wrong with my electronics these days. Crazy things. So, I see that, Marina. I'm on a little bit of a delay, probably a minute or 2 delay. So I just saw your comment, Marina. I know you're supposed to be working, you little sneaky. So we're going to be going over skin today. I've got La La Land Crafts, of course. And this is the same digi from the hair. This is just I just cropped it down so you can get a bigger bit of her face. So, hi, Dana. So we have La La Land Crafts, and this is the From My Kitchen Marcy. And then this one is the Lotus Flower Sprite in the Big Eye section for Aurora wings. I don't know if who all here has done Aurora wings? Has anybody colored Aurora wings? Let me know. I absolutely love her tiny sprites, and I love her big-eyed sprites like this. And she has some gorgeous, gorgeous flowers that you can color that will probably be used in my flower section. So let me know if you guys have colored any of the Aurora Wings images. If you have, Mitzi, I'm on the design team, and Mitzi has given me full go to go ahead and use her images for any of the demonstrations. And then at all of I will always tell you on the sheets where you can get them at. So if you look in the description of this sheet, there should be a link directly to the Lotus Flower Sprite. She is absolutely one of my favorites. You've never heard of them? Oh my goodness. Paula, you gotta go over and see them. They are so gorgeous. Let me see. Can I reach? Here, I'll show you something that I did from about 6 years ago, if I can reach it, as I'm tearing my office apart. So this is before I started getting a little bit better with skin. But I did this one. This is Aurora Wings as well. But she has a lot of the fantasy. She's got a lot of flower and stuff, but flowers. But this is like 6 years ago. And it's been sitting in the sun and everything else because I keep it on top of my shelves. I couldn't think. So you can see even from this paper, it's a little bit sun bleached from when I lived in California. So this is the kind of stuff that she has, and her stuff is just, it's so gorgeous. I love her stuff. So, and she has a lot of the more realistic faces and some of the cutesy faces. So they're absolutely wonderful. But one thing I wanted to talk about with faces is, before we get coloring, is color the way you want to color, the way you feel that it should be colored. I have seen some horrendous facial features out there. And I'm not going to say what or who or when or why or anything like that, but they are so, I'm just like, why did they do that to the image? Because it was so cute the way the artist drew it. So, I mean, I pulled up a friend of mine's website. He's an amazing, amazing artist. And you can see the different facial features and things, the way noses, the way eyes, the shadowing in the eyes, the shadowing around the hairlines. Let me see. Here's a good one. How there's light coming from this way, but he still has a little bit of a shadow coming from behind. And how the nose is nothing. There's no harsh lines except for there's one line, and that's all shadow. And there's shadow here. Oops, there's Marilyn. So, but you can see the different shadows in the face. So if you want to go to his website for examples of, because he has straight on, he has side views and everything else, it is, here, I'll put it in here, jasonmass.com. And then where I usually go for inspiration with him is to the famous faces. Oops. Here we go. It's hard to type on a tablet when you're used to doing it on a computer, I have to say. Okay, so there is his website. If you ever want to go there for inspiration, he has tons and tons of the different, like here, the different hairdos, and how the nose isn't just straight line, it just kind of blends out and stuff, and the hair just blends together so nicely. So, but there's all kinds of different views, different hair, everything that you can get inspiration from an artist's perspective, versus going to, like, just going to Google and just putting in, oh, my computer doesn't want to work without the cat pad. Here we go. That's not what I wanted. So let's see. So let's just check out face images, see what it gives us. And you get all kinds, but it's from a photographer and it's actual faces. So you can look at the faces on here too. So if you get like a frontal view of a face, you can see that as well. So there's lots of different things that you can use for inspiration for shadows and faces, and you know, what should it look like? And, you know, just because you can do it, doesn't necessarily mean that you should do it. So, like a nose like this. This is, I don't normally do these types of noses, but I did one for you guys just so that you could see. I don't normally do noses like this just because, I don't mean, to me it looks like it's standing out, but I'm definitely not going to do that type of nose on here. So like I tell a lot of my friends, you know, when we're coloring and things like that, don't, where in California? I lived in right outside Palm Springs. I don't know if you were talking to Stephanie though. But like this face is more of a cutesy face, so you don't want to do some crazy nose on it. It still needs a nose, obviously, but we're not going to do some crazy line up her face. So the way I do noses doesn't necessarily mean you have to do it my way. Just showing you how I do it. So I'm going to start with the Caucasian Skin, now that I've shut up and rambling on. And I'm going to do E11 first. Okay. And I'm going to go around just where the outside shadows are going to be. And I'm going to give her a little bit of a shadow. I'm trying to, my lines are a little bit thicker, I've noticed, because I really was not happy with the way my hair looked when we did hair loss on Saturday. But I'm trying to keep my hand out of your guys' way so that you can see. So my lines are a little bit thicker than what I would like them to be. So, and I've done the cheek, and now I'm just going to do a little tiny half circle for her nose. I'm going to flip her around because I can't do it straight up and down. I have to do it upside down. Sorry, guys. And I'm just going to do some little flicks up. So that will kind of, it'll soften out. Don't worry. It'll soften out. It's not going to look that horrid by the time I'm done. And yes, I feel that looks completely horrid. And then I'm going to do a little, I'm going to come out a little bit on her cheek on this side, just like I did the other side. I'm going to bring this down. So, and then I'm going to do a little bit down here. And remember, shadows are not like, they're not straight. They're not just straight like an L. They're going to be curved. So that would be all, it's going to be curved. I don't think I've ever seen a straight shadow unless it was on a filing cabinet. So, and I'm going to bring her cheek out just a little. And then on these Marcies, you can do this. You don't have to do this. But I put a little tiny, like little smile line right where her little cheekies are going to go. Okay, so and then I'm going to bring the cheek out this way a little bit, and I'm going to go up because that will make her face look round, not just flat. Okay, and I just realized I said the word K a lot, so I apologize. I will have to work on that. So now I'm going to move into E04. And this is going to be, you only use E04 for a shadow. Now, why do I put E11 down before the E04? You can see that's really dark. And for me, as somebody who's heavy-handed, it is hard for me to go from, you know, straight from E04 and blend it out with E11. So the E11, putting that down first will actually soften it up a little bit, but I don't want to saturate the entire image because if I do that, she'll start looking like, you know, Michael Jackson did towards the end of his life when he started having that problem with the skin disease. We don't want that, do we? So I'm doing that just along her hairline where the headband hits her forehead and coming along here. And then I'm going to put a little bit under her neck. Because I don't know about you, but I got a shadow under my neck. And we're going to put that one aside. So it's just the neck. This is just going to be like cast shadows. So like when you have sleeves, when you have, you know, because you're going to see if the sun's coming down, you're going to have that cast shadow right at your sleeve, whether long sleeve or short. You might have one in between your fingers if the, you know, the sun is shining. It's just cast shadows. That's it. Now I'm going to go back over it with E11 again. Marina, where do you live in California? I don't remember. There we go. So E11. And I'm just going to go over where I put that E04. And it's going to blend it in a little bit. And I'm not feathering, I'm feathering down like this. I'm not feathering out like that. I'm just feathering down. Okay. There I go again with the K's. Now, after the E11 is all done, I'm going to go to E21. I'm going to write that down for you. Oh, San Diego. I wanted to live there. We went out there twice when we lived in Palm Springs, and I loved it, but the prices were so high out there, I said, forget it. So this is E21. Now I'm going to go around and I'm going to start filling in the rest of the image. I'm going to pull her little cheekies out a little bit more. Not all the way, just like that much, not even a centimeter. So just pull this out. And now I'm going to go completely underneath her chin. I'm going to put a little bit right here next to her lips, like underneath, like a shadow from her top lip. And then where I put those little smile lines from her chunky little cheeks, I'm going to pull that E11 out just slightly. And I'm going to do that on both sides. Now I'm going to be pulling this out all the way to her eye. Okay. That'll help her face look more rounded and you'll get more of that shadow from her hair. Now, last time you guys asked how much contrast do you leave. Now that's completely up to you and up to your image. Let your image guide you and tell you what you need. Because if your hair is coming all the way out, kind of like, let's see, I don't know who this is, but see how the shadow comes out all the way over this eye here? Because her hair is hanging over. So let your image guide you. Hey, Tina, you made it this time, lady. Marina's here too. So I'm going to pull this out. And I don't necessarily, because I do use a white gel pen, and this is a 05 gel pen, I don't necessarily worry about the eyes because I can go back and put the little dot things where the eyes go. So I don't let that bother me. I just color. And we got to do down here by her little shirt. And we'll bring that out because you want both sides, like so. My sun would be coming directly from the front, and so your shadows would come this way. Yeah, you and your acupuncture, you keep those needles, honey. That's all you. That's no. Sorry, no thank you. So now I'm going to do E00. And you don't have to write all of these in order. You can just write them down, you know, all of them that you used. I'm just doing this for your benefit of what I used and in what order. So, oh, you know what? I totally just told you wrong because I was too busy talking to Tina. I'm actually going to do R20 instead of E00. So we're going to do R20, just a little bit on the cheeks. Now, we drew the line here, and so we're going to fill out just a tiny bit, like out to where, see how we put the E21 out to there? I'm going to do the the R20 just out to the same line as the E21. So, but to tie in the top of her face up here with her cheek, I'm going to go ahead and put some R20 up here on the side, just slightly, like kind of like a triangle, I guess, just to tie it all in so that it looks like it's all her face, not like her face is two parts. So I'm going to go ahead and put that on the side here as well. Now we don't want, or at least I don't want, the harsh look of R20. So I'm going to put R20 here, but we're going to use R30 as well because that's a little bit lighter. And I'm just going to pull that out a little bit more. Okay, I don't put anything up above. I leave that the way it is. I just put it on the cheek area and that's it. So R20 and R30. Now we're going to go back to the E00. And I'm going to pull that out even more from the top, out past the eye. This part I'm still leaving rather open so you can get the shine on your cheeks. And I'm going to do down in her face. So, and I'm going to pull this part out, the little smile lines on her cheekies. I'm going to pull that out a little bit. And I'll go over the R20 and the R30 just so that they're blending, because when you have the zeros in with your blending, it will help blend everything out and bring it all together so you don't have those harsh lines. And I'm also leaving and making kind of like a detour around the shiny part of her cheeks, and I'm getting her upper lip a little bit, and I'm just bringing that all together a little bit, but still leaving some white parts. Now I'm going to use, not the chisel end, I'm going to use this end of the E00, and this also will help bring any harsh lines or anything like that all together, plus it will work as your lighter shade for all of your contrast, and it will blend out that crazy nose. Okay, and I just kind of go over it just slightly all over her face. So I've kind of lost some of my darker lines around her cheeks and things like that, and I want to bring those back in. And this is what helps if you're heavy-handed. So I will go back, not with my E11, I will go back with my E21 that needs to be cleaned very badly. And I will just go around her cheeks, bring some of those lines out, or shadows, not lines, but bring some of those shadows out from her face, making it look a little more plump. Because I don't know what it is about the La La Land ones, but I love plump little faces. They're so cute. So, and I'll just bring back that little line for the nose. Not the whole thing, just the little tiny, tiny line. I'll bring these out a little bit. Put a little bit of a shadow there. And then I will do the E00 again. And I will just soften. I'm just softening up those lines. Just like that. Whoops. There we go. So that is all I do for Caucasian skin, especially for Marcy. And you can see that I forgot her ear. So I'm just going to go back with E21 and fill in her ear because it's underneath her hair, so it's going to have that shadow. So how is everybody doing? Are you all coloring? How are you guys doing? Do you guys want to do a Marcy with Latino skin? Or do you want to try and do one of the Aurora Wings faces? Yay, Stephanie's coloring along. Where's everybody at? So I'm starting to catch up, it looks like. Let me know. See, I think this is something where, like, coloring this stuff, I'm starting to think that Zooms would be a lot of fun, because then you guys could just talk to me, like, right away. And there wouldn't be much of a, you're working. Okay, Marina, I have a question for you. Since you do faces really, really well, what colors do you use for Latino skin? Because I know what I use. What do you use? I think Tina should tell us what she uses too. You want to do the Aurora Wings? Do you want to do the Aurora Wings with the Caucasian skin, or what color skin, Stephanie? It's so hard being on a delay. Doesn't matter. Okay, well, I will go ahead. Same color, but what order do you put your for your Latino skin? What order do you put them in, Marina? See, that's why it's nice to have you here working. It's nice to pick other artists' brains. Hi, Bonnie. How are you? If you didn't get the first part of this, don't worry. It will be recorded and it will be stuck in the skin unit for you to watch over and pause me as much as you want and laugh as much as you want. I don't know if I'm very funny, though. So I need to get some light on things. It's really, really stormy at my house. It has been for, I don't know, a couple days, I guess. And then we had a hurricane that was right on the coast, but I don't live on the coast, so I'm not too worried. So there's some light, putting some light on things. So I'll just go ahead and do Caucasian skin again. So I think it's really good if we get used to one color skin and then we can move on to another one. You go dark to light and reapply second coat. Oh, okay. So maybe you can do this, the next skin. Oh, you're just in Tennessee, Stephanie. So you're just, yeah, you're going through the same thing I am. Marina, you agree to what? The wind, or that you should do the next skin live video? So we're going to start the same way. And I'm not going to put a shadow here, but I'm going to put it by her hair, okay, and bring it down because the sun is going to hit her right here, at least for me coloring. So I usually start right here, and I just come down, and she doesn't really have chubby cheeks, so we're not going to do the smile lines or anything like that on her. And we have to make sure to get her neck. And remember, it's not a straight L, it's a curved for the shadow. And then for this side, I'm going to start right, there's a line right here. So I'm going to start right at that one. Oh, at the delay, yeah. The delay is hard. And then we're just going to go ahead and go down. And her hair comes all the way down kind of over her face. It doesn't fly away from her face like this over here. So I'm going to do a little bit of a thicker line on this side, just because the shadow is going to be more noticeable on this side of her face. Let's see. I'm going to do, let's see, I don't normally put a nose on this one, but I'll show you how I did this one. So I didn't do it with E11. I'm going to go ahead and put that aside. Whoops. So we have E11. And now we're going to do E04. Okay, you guys can laugh at this. So I have Bach playing on my Echo Dot behind me, but it's really faint. It's just there to, because I get a little bit of anxiety when I'm doing a live video, so it's just there to keep me calm and stuff. But it's very, very faint, and it sounds like there's a little bit of singing, but it's so faint I actually thought it was the wind outside until I was like, wow, that wind's really picking up, until I finally realized it was the radio. Little bit of a dork moment. So now I'm going to do the E04, and I'm going to do it just where her hair is falling. See, Stephanie thought it was funny. She probably knows what I'm talking about. So man, when that wind picks up, ooh, going through the houses, it sounds like it's screaming. So, oh, I forgot the E04 on her neck. Sorry, guys. So there we go, just slightly. Now I'm going to do E11 again. And I'm going to pull this out just a little bit and blend it all. And then I'm going to pull this out just slightly and blend the E04 for that shadow. Obviously it's going to come out more than this side again. We're going to pull this one out. Now we're going to go to E21. And this is just going to be slightly pulled out. On both sides. And this one's going to be more than the other one, obviously. Now this is where I have to go upside down. So sorry. But this is where I usually do the nose. And I kind of come out kind of like in a curve like this, like your nostril would be. I don't go just straight, I kind of curve it. And I don't do just a straight line up, because that's not how your face is. Your face has beautiful curves. So I'm going to curve it around and I'm going to work it into where the top of your eyelid is. And I'm going to do the same on this side. Just very, very small. And I'm going really light, making the line very, very fine. And I'm just going up, and it looks absolutely horrendous right now. So now I'm going to do the R20. Yep, R20. Making sure I didn't grab the wrong one. And even though she doesn't have the chubby cheeks like the Lala image does, we don't just put dots in the middle of our faces. It kind of comes from the side, and I'm going to go up and bring it out by the eye as well, just like on the Lala image. And we only want a little bit. She's starting to look like a cat woman the way she's colored right now. Holy cow. And now I'm going to do the R30. But you can see how much lighter, even though it's a 3, that's just, there's more gray in it. There we go. And do the R30. Just bring it out, just blend it out. Okay, just slightly. Now we want to do the E00. And this will be the same, except we're going to have to take care of this crazy nose too. So we're going to pull this out. And we're going to blend that nose out. And this side's going to be a little bit darker than the other. So I'm doing everything but her lips. And I'm just going over and blending it out. But I'm also going to go a little bit on top of the nose to also blend that out. And just bring it underneath the eye so that it all blends and looks more natural. Because it also depends too, you'll notice that I'm kind of going around with my pen, because when you do more curves instead of just going straight with your pen, it will look like the way that it's supposed to go. And I'm going to go back to the E21 just for a second because I forgot to do her neck. I always forget about necks, ears, hands. They get stuck on the face, and who cares if you color the rest of the body. I always forget about it constantly. It's usually my daughter that's like, Mommy, you didn't color that. So now I'm going to go to the E11, or the E000, sorry. E000. As I try to finagle all these pens around in my hands. There we go. And I'm just going to go right over the middle of that nose. And you can tell right here the way this is kind of, this line is kind of funky. It looks like I need to change my E04 pen. But you can see the nose is not very harsh. It's not crazy huge or anything like that. But I am going to go and use my E21 again, just like I did on the Lala. And I'm going to pull out that shadow that we lost. I'm going to pull that out some more. And I'm going to make this just a little bit thicker. Put more of a shadow. And then where her hair is right here, I'll put more of a shadow back in. I'm not going to do really much with this side because just like maybe just a little bit in the corner of her eye, because it naturally gets darker in the corner of your eye anyway. Hi Esmeralda, how are you? Glad you came. And then I'm going to smooth it out with, with my E00 again. And my E00 I will pull out a little bit as well so that it blends in and it looks like the nose is more of a shadow than anything else. And then to make that look good, I'm still going to use my E000. That's good. I'm glad to hear that or read that. So that is how I do this face. So you can tell that the eyes are a little bit different. These ones look wonky. These ones look, well, to me they look good. They might not to you, but they do to me. But the reason Mitzi does this is because she teaches people how to do eyes. Now, for the eyes, I didn't put it on our stuff, but I'm going to be using B05, B02, and B00. I love using these colors for eyes because when you do an image like this and then you do maybe black hair or brown hair, even blonde hair, it just really, the lightness of the colors just make them pop, and I just love that. So B, it was B02, right? Yep, B2 and B00. And I will also be using some C1. Okay, and I'll also be using this beautiful Sharpie pen and a white gel pen. So the first thing I start out with is I don't really worry about the circles because number one, I'm doing it with a Sharpie pen and not with, let me see if I even have one in here anymore. Yes, the Copic multi-liner. Excuse me. I have a hard time finding, these are fantastic. They're replaceable just like your regular Copics. But I have a hard time finding these little, because you can just pull this part out and it will replace this part. When you're in the nib part, you know, you run out of ink or whatever maybe, you just replace this part and it lasts forever, just like these ones will. But right now I'm having a hard time finding them, so I just reverted to my Sharpie because it works just as well. But you don't really want to go over, do this first and then a Copic, because this might come off on your nib and you don't want that, believe me. So I'm going to start with my B05 and I'm just going over the top half of the eye, just the very, very top where the eyeball would be, because there is some white in there. So just the very top. Then I'm going to use my B02. And I'm going to blend that out, but bring it down just ever so slightly, so there's still white at the bottom. So both eyes. And then the last color is B00. And we're just going to finish out the eye and kind of blend the eye with it. Just like that. Now the last part, the C1, you're probably wondering what in the heck I'm doing with the C1. If you look at any pictures, your eyeballs, or any person actually, the eyelids are going to create a shadow on the top half of where your eyeball is. So we are going to put that in with a C1 because that will give the eye depth, it'll give it shadow, and it'll make it look, well, better. So we'll do it just along the top area, just like that. So can you see already how it's already created that depth of the eye and the eyelid coming over the eye? So now I'm going to use my Sharpie to finish out the center of the eye, which I'm just going to draw a wee small circle or half circle. If I can stop shaking and make it even, that would be completely amazing. That's one reason I don't really try to find perfection all the time with my coloring, is because I do shake really super bad all of the time. Like all the time. So I'm like, well, everybody knows it was handmade because it looks shaky. So that's how I put the black in, and I let it dry, or I blow on it for just a second, because you know Sharpie pens. Now, some of you might have problems with your jelly pens. I get so many people that tell me they have problems with them not working, not running right. They know there's ink in them, but they won't go. If you take, now I used to have a friend that would lick the end, but I'm not that daring, I'm going to tell you. Not that daring. So I just rub it on the end of my finger to warm up the ball inside of the end of the pen and get it going on my finger. And it just wipes off. So one thing about the white parts of the eye, that's going to be the shiny part of the eye. I usually put 2 dots, one bigger than the other, but you want to make sure your dots in each eye are exactly the same, like as far as which way they're going. Otherwise your person is going to look completely cross-eyed. So I usually put a dot right about here, just a larger one, and then I'll put a smaller one right about on the part of the black and the blue where it joins. Let me get my ink going again. And you don't have to use a jelly pen. You can use the Copic white. See, my pen does not want to work. Well, that one's a little bit bigger than what I wanted. But now this one, I'm not going to go to this side, otherwise she's going to look completely cross-eyed, even though her eyes are straight. This way, she's going to look cross-eyed if I move the white dots. So I'm going to put a white dot here. I'm going to put a small one right there. And the small ones you always want going the same too. So that one is bad. It did not want to work. So I'm just going to cover that up. Let it dry a minute. Blow on it. I'm not going to lick it, Marina. No, you lick it. As my husband would say, lick the toad. So let's try this again. Come on. This pen does not love me today, guys. Like, not at all. Okay. See how that thing is. I'll try another one. I am not loyal to white pens. There we go. So, there's that one. Now the lips. Now my hand's completely white. The lips, I will usually do a little bit of EO4 in the corners. Just really small for the shadows. And down a little bit. And maybe through the middle. Just slightly. And then I'm going to use E32 if I can find what I did with it. What did I do with that? Here it is. But I use E32 for the rest of the lip, and I just kind of blend it in. Okay, so E32 for the lips and EO4 for the lips. Or R32, sorry, R32. Okay. So there is that one. What do you guys think? So maybe what I was thinking, maybe what we would do is, since we're practicing just this skin, and last time we practiced the long hair, what we'll do every week is we'll just rotate one and we'll just keep practicing together. Because even for me, practice is fantastic. So thank you, you guys. But practice is fantastic. Even for me, it's fun and it's great to sit and practice with you guys. And next week, remember, we have the Zoom at 2 o'clock my time. And I'll put all your guys' times on there so you don't have to sit there and say, well, what time is 2 o'clock Eastern? So I'll put all the times on there. And so then next week, we did white skin, we did Caucasian skin this week. Next time we do skin, we will work on Latino skin. I'm one of those people that I don't like just doing Caucasians. I like doing all the colors of the world. I just love it. So we will do that. Practice your eyes, practice your skin, practice your long hair. We're going to do blending at 2 o'clock on Saturday. And we're going to be doing hair at 3 o'clock. That hour was fast. Yes, it's super fast. Honestly, I'm going to tell you guys something. I have to start getting my kids to get their chores done so that I can make dinner. If I didn't have to feed my children, I'd be here with you guys all day. Just saying. So, plus I homeschool my kids. I've been homeschooling my kids since first grade. So this is... the whole homeschool thing because of the coronavirus is nothing new for us. But, yeah, I would be coloring all day if I didn't have to do homeschool and feed my children. I so wish. But, Zoom, the best place to get Zoom is on a computer. You can do it on a tablet, but you would only see the speaker, which sometimes is okay. But you go to zoom.com and you download it. If you can't download this because you don't have enough space or you just don't want to, let me know. And if you need help setting it up, let me know. So I'm happy to help. Okay? So do you have to do that? No, you don't have to do the Zoom if you don't want to. Marina, maybe I can get your help sometime when you're not feeding your kids or homeschooling your kids. Maybe I can get your help so we can figure out what these Facebook chat group room, I don't know what they are, but I can figure it out. I have some friends that can help me figure it out, and maybe we can do that instead. But I know with Zoom, it's really nice because not only will you guys hear me talk, but I'll also be able to hear you guys talk without a delay, and I'll get to see what you guys are working on. And so I can help you right away with, instead of you guys posting your pictures after the Facebook Live. So it's just kind of, it's more of like a group one-on-one kind of thing where you get to actually talk back without having to type it all in. So, but you don't have to do it. None of this is forced. You don't have to do, I mean, you don't even have to talk to me if you don't want to. You can just look at the lessons. So it's all about what you want to do and what you want to get out of it. If you're comfortable with your blending, that's all we're going over. So you don't even have to do it if you're good with your blending. So with that, my daughter just came upstairs. That was my cue, I guess. I don't know. So, but I will see you guys later. I adore you all. Thank you so much for coming to the Facebook Lives. Thank you for being part of this group. I absolutely love it, and I wish I would have started this sooner. So I will talk to you all later. If you have questions, ask. Please ask. And if you did your coloring, your practice, please post it. I want to see. It's awesome. So I will see you guys later. Hugs, Paula. Hugs, Stephanie, Esmeralda, and everyone else I can't see everybody else who's on right now. So Marina, are you still working? So I'll see you guys later. Love you. Bye.